The Love Letter, written and read by Ashley Taylor. Beloved, I stare into the cold crested sea and think of you. The wind will blow these pages from me if I'm not careful. I must write quickly, as I do not have much time. The other night, as we talked in bed, as I listened to your voice, I felt as though I'd been swept into your ocean, as dark and grey as this July storm. When you showed me your light, the sun pooled and pulsed upon the waters. There is no light today. It was against all the rules to meet with you, let alone sleep with you. I will soon pay the price. You know how I love winter, especially here in the Cape of Storms. Though just the other day the sun was hot and succulent, confusing both the tourists and the gulls. In the late afternoon, after reluctantly leaving your side, I went to the beach and watched an English family plodding naked along the shoreline, their skin dusted pink like the coming sunset. The moon and the sun were together in the same sky. I lay on the cool sand and thought of you. There is something I must tell you. I know you think we've just met, what with the initial shy greeting in the bookstore, those startled beginnings of a conversation, the dinner, the shape of you and me in the dark. In those first moments, you thought the stirrings of recognition to be simply the familiarity of a kindred spirit, and looking into my eyes, you said you knew me from somewhere. In truth, this is the first time you have seen me, but not the first time my eyes have beheld you. It is the first time I have allowed you to see me, the first time I've allowed anyone to see me. I was there when you read your first book. You blundered through the words, pretending you knew, guided only by pictures and memory. I was there when you fell, when the fevers of your youth threatened to take you early, when you bled for the first time, when you ran drunk into the night at the end of school, the very end, the stars giddier and brighter than they'd ever been. I was there when the blonde boy from Lotus Avenue first visited your house with his mother. She talked of lift clubs, cheese scones, and the growing shade of the resident cypress trees. In the pool house, I watched him give you your first kiss. I remember the quickening of your heart when he touched your neck. Then, that night, when you were alone, after you'd climbed through the fence to wave at him as he kicked the ball with his friends, the sweat like rain upon his smooth skin, I saw the sorrow like a river bursting silently from your gaping mouth. How were you to know he would deny your presence, deny your greeting, deny the very kiss? I was there in the time of visiting soccer players, the ones who came from foreign universities, who rescued the long, hot Saturdays, and the Brazilian goalie you liked, who knew only 12 words of English. I heard him speak, and shudder, and cry out in a language you didn't understand. I saw you smile, and fall asleep in his arms. I was beside you when you first saw the changed Manhattan skyline, when the new moon rose over the temples of Tibet, when you ran from yourself just to find yourself again. I know it will be hard for you to understand that I could know such things when you've only just met me. You see, I know everything about you, as though you were my own, I am writing this to you in the hope that one day you will understand and forgive me for what I have done. Having spent this time with you, I will now never be able to see you again. It is hard to explain, but I will try. I know at first this explanation will not be enough for you. I know how you are. But in time, you will understand, and there will be others who will come to understand. It is forbidden for us to reveal ourselves to you, but I could not help myself. You are the most beautiful one I have ever seen. If I had not lived but for a few exquisite days in your eyes, then I would never have lived at all. I will not be permitted to remember the lifetime I've had of watching you grow and become, nor will I remember the nights I stole with you. You will remember. I do not know whose fate is worse. Soon I will be given other tasks, forlorn duties which don't require wings, and I will forget that I ever loved you. You might see me again, walking briskly through a crowd or coming down the stairs. I will be familiar, but in a changed form, carrying a message or delivering a prize, and you, a stranger to my sight. Such are the laws under which I abide. I have managed to write this only because an archangel took pity on my state. Do not put this aside for a second, I beg you. There is little time. My heart is being emptied of love. So I wish to tell you before it is too late that I have loved you, and loved you more than I could bear, and longer than the hours you have known my face. I was created to protect you and watch over you. I was made to love you, without you knowing I was there, and without you loving me in return. This, so that I could bring to you the love of the divine heart of God, which, were you to see and feel in its pure form, would consume you before you'd even begun to live out the appointed days of your life. When I sat beside you that day and allowed you to see me for the first time, and when I touched your body and poured my love into you, I broke the laws of heaven. You see, the heart of an angel is meticulously and carefully crafted. It is made only to carry the perfect measure of God's love. It cannot receive or accept a single drop of the love of a human soul in return, and if it does, it will break and slowly drain of love. This is the secret of angels. When you kissed me and told me you loved me, I felt within me the first mingling of human love with the divine, and there rose in me such a swell of force, such a combined love like nothing I have ever known. I must hurry. I do not have long. I hear the sound of wings. Remember when you told me that more than anything you wanted peace in your heart, in your life. Will I ever find it, my angel? You asked, your eyes big and blue, your lips unaware of the name you had chosen. I was silent, but took you in my arms and made love to you until the birds awoke and the morning breezes cooled our bodies. Now that you know who I am, I will answer your question. There is a way to find peace. It is simpler than you can imagine. See how all creation contradicts itself at a point in time. See how the things you perceive as opposites, as being irreconcilable, as being different, as being unable to coexist, see how they live beside, within, upon each other. See how they exist for each other, like lovers, despite each other, because of each other. Seek the contradictions that grace your life. There are many. I have seen you use one to try to cancel out the other. I have seen you fight for all or nothing, and I so wanted to tell you that such a state does not exist. Not here, not anywhere in this world, or the worlds beyond. Learn from fallen angels. I have watched you fight and lament the passing of love, never to acknowledge that by just feeling it, you have made its loss impossible. Look beyond the dying sun to the half-melon moon already high upon the twilight sky, and there, where the night and the day blend and bleed into each other, gaze and know that it is all right to visit the darkness in your own soul and navigate your way there with your own light. You will lie and be honest in a single breath. Be astonished at the ironies in your life, but do not fight them all. They are mostly inevitable. Do not fear the fiery differences between things, nor the inability of opposites to coexist. This is an illusion, for they already do. It is your choice to love them both, to love them all, to accept their multiple presence. Do you fight the leaves that fall, or tell the rain to return from whence it came? Peace will come when you accept paradox as though it were air. I have seen all of your life, not just the parts you wish to show. I have known you to be moved to tears by the sufferings of those around you, yet you have swiftly passed some by in their greatest hour of need. Do not deny either state, for both have their place, though righteous fools will certainly differ. I know you love men and women. So be it. In all measures and forms were you made human. It is possible to slumber beside two lovers and not lose your innocence. Then forsake all innocence for a bride or a groom or a picket fence. You may fall in love and live it out without ever touching those you're in love with. And you may touch many without ever loving them, and still find yourself awash with joy. I have seen you talking to a God you think is no longer there, seen your questions answered when you didn't ask, seen you kneel as both sinner and saint. You have many names. Answer to all of them. And when, to justify your weakness, you take upon you the judgmental cloak of hypocrisy, and scorn the way others live for that which you fear within yourself, even then look to the contradictions of the world. There are countries drowning in blood who still hunger for peace, nations spending money on killing and healing at the same time. So when at war with yourself, do not forsake peace because you believe it need be black or white. Peace will come, sometimes despite the conflict, and sometimes because of it. Do not fear the grey lands, or the spaces between, or the ebb and the flow of things. Taste without your tongue, see without your eyes, talk in silence, and sweat and rest and spend and save and eat chocolate late at night and try things once or twice and fix things and break them again. Miss me with all your soul, and forget me on the same day. For even the stars are leaving and returning in the same orbit. If you feel unmoved by that which once stirred you, and you go to the mirror and try to weep like a film star, and you discover yourself crying, and you find you cannot stop, don't stop. I know you dislike your body. I know you say that one day soon you will like it better. I sensed the low light of candles to be more than just romance. How strange, though, that men and women and angels have loved your body more than you. You hold all the contradictions of the universe within you. Accept this. This is not permission to be cruel or selfish, nor does it mean you cannot change things, for you are one of the masters of your destiny. Accepting contradiction does not mean you should waste your life on hatred and self-pity simply because they exist. You can be many conflicting things at the same time and still move forward and still have peace in your soul. Accept merely the fact that there are contradictions and that they must be so. Then choose the paths you know to be right, and you do know which those are. Every human knows. This is the path to peace. If you were with me now, I would whisper to you to come closer. So come closer, my love, and listen with your soul. The greatest contradiction of all is echoed in every other. It is the paradox that has broken my heart. The ability of humanity and divinity to exist in the same place at the same time. It is a combination so precious and powerful, so extraordinary, that only human hearts were designed to feel it and survive. I have not survived, for I was not made so. I have told you that my heart was created only to carry the divine love of God to you, and not to feel yours mix within me. Angels rarely speak of it, but many have forsaken their paths just to feel the love of a human heart mingle with a divine, some out of jealousy, and some for love. Understand, then, what you have been given, what your heart is capable of. It is built to carry all such contradictions. Embrace this, and you will experience life as it was meant to be. Then you will have the peace you seek, for peace is not the absence of turmoil. It is what you inherit when you embrace both. Do not deny either. They have their place. For so long have I watched you, and listened to your prayers, heard your heartfelt cries to him, and wept at the love he has for you. An eternity, like the one I lived before you, I have forsaken to have felt your love. The great gatherings of angels, lasting 1,000 years, I have left behind, because I desired to feel in my heart just once how God feels when a human chooses to love him. Forgive me. And now I think I know why God chose to confine his infinite being to the finite human body all that time ago, a contradiction that continues to plague you. He was lonely, loving you from so far, and so he stepped down. How he must have marveled at his own human heart beating within, at its choices and complexities. Did he look up at the stars as a man and not a god, and realize for the first time ever there was a part of his being that did not love itself? Did he weep for himself or for us? I hear a distant thunder. I must hurry. When he comes to me, I will not be able to speak. Perhaps one day you could explain to him. Still, I have no regret, beloved. In letting you go, I have found you. In losing my life, I have gained it. When you finally let loss and death take their natural place within you, then you will truly live. Embrace these secrets I have shared with you, and you will have peace, always. I must go now. Remember, for both of us, goodbye. Your angel.